Very good. Welcome to this session about the employee experience work. My name is Volker Jacobs. I'm CEO and founder of TI People. We are a young company. We're working with 60 Fortune 500 companies, out of which 40 have been participating in a co-creation work to build, over the last 2 years, to build a framework for managing the employee experience from an HR functions perspective. So what can HR do to manage the employee experience? And that co-creation work with 40 companies is probably very relevant, because not only did these companies co-create a solution for this problem of how to manage employee experience, they also did a lot of work to figure out what is working in today's world in HR. So in learning and development, in recruitment, in the HR world. That is why we believe that this topic fits into the stream of practical HR quite well. We are starting with this "the world is changing" theme, and from the various data sources and ways to describe how the world is changing, we are picking these 5. Let's just not dive deeply into each of them, but on the top left, what you see is that 10 petabytes of data. That's the data lake that Netflix uses before it makes a suggestion of which movie to watch next. So a super important, strategic, earth-shattering decision, which movie to watch next, is supported by a data lake of 10 petabytes of data. And as consumers of Netflix, we believe that's the service level that I can expect everywhere. People are trying hard to give me a good service. And the service is just one click away, and it's good for me. And with that expectation, we are going to work and probably find a slightly different world there. So as an employee, we have the expectation that we have built as a consumer at work. But we don't get these expectations fulfilled. And another thing that I wanted to point out is 1/3 of all companies, 33% of all Fortune 500 companies, are using some shape or form of artificial intelligence in the selection process during recruitment. That is a surprise, because we would think it's only 5% or something like that. These artificial intelligence decision helpers are built in to standard software that we use. So it's closer than we may think. And the third one I want to point out is the 25% lower cost, HR costs. So it's in Fortune 500 companies, the per capita budget of HR has gone down by 25% from 2016 to 2018. So we have to face a lot of change, a lot of new expectation sets with less money to spend. That's the world we live in HR. And what our research tells us is that we are facing new expectations. 3 of them are linked to customer personas of HR. So 3 new expectations for HR from customer segments of HR. We're using this persona model. You see here on the left, HRIS, growth-focused general manager. So a senior executive persona. And what HRIS wants from HR is help to build a more agile organization. That's a common new expectation for HR. Help to build an agile organization. Then there is Pedro, the inspiring sales manager. He is a representative of line managers. And what they want from HR more than ever before is they want help to make better team and people decisions And that help is data and insights. So they want facts from HR so they can make better people decisions. And the third one is Alice. And we will talk about Alice a little bit more. Alice is representing the talent group that we all look for. We want more Alices in our companies than we can find. So she is young, digital, eager talent. And what she wants as an expectation is she wants a great experience at work. So all that we have to provide. We have to build an agile organization. We have to give managers the insights they need to make better people decisions. And we have to provide a great experience at work as HR. And then there's Patrick, our progressive HR leader. He is full of hope that bots and AI will take the burden of transactional HR off him so he can concentrate more on fulfilling the other three needs. We have built this model that describes what HR should be doing and focusing on in a digital world. We have a very robust business case. You see the numbers on the bottom. A very robust business case for HR to do three things well: managing the employee experience, building a skill-based organization of work, and people analytics. Those three together are having a robust business case. It is not the cloud-based HRIT system that has a robust business case. All companies, 97% of Fortune 500 companies, are spending a lot of money on cloud-based HRIT systems these days, yet that spend is not related to business impact. It is only impacting the business if it's a prerequisite for these three things. That's research outcome, so that's just data. So what do we actually do when we use this framework and we are trying to manage the employee experience? We should start with is understanding the employee's expectations. And marketing, sales, and service have done this 15 years ago. So 15 years ago, marketing started to try to understand the expectations of customers by segmenting them using persona concepts. So the first thing we did in our co-creation work with these 40 companies is we tried to segment HR customers. The traditional way of segmenting HR customers, do you know what that is? How that works? You segment by function, region, job level, contract type. The average Global 2000 company has, if you do these four dimensions, 130 customer segments. That is not manageable. So if you want to manage the employee experience of 130 different customer segments, that's not working. What is working is you concentrate on a set of personas. So we build 10 personas representing an entire workforce of a Global 2000 company. 10 personas. What we need to know about the personas is not the contract type, not the job level. What we need to know about them is how they are wired, how they see the world. So Alice, one quote of Alice is, "Without data, you're just another person with an opinion." Right? So that's the way she thinks. And that is what we need to know when we try to make her, provide her with a better experience. Starting point is the persona. Second thing, we have to acknowledge that this persona, Alice, she is having experiences. No matter whether we manage them or not, she is having experiences. These experiences happen at touch points of journeys that she's going through. And what's most important here, they can be good or bad, they happen, managed or not. What's most important here is Alice will remember them. There's this quote from Maya Angelou. She's a civil rights activist in the US, or has been. She says, "How you make people feel is what people will remember." And experiences make Alice feel good or bad, and she will remember that. Now it's becoming even worse. These experiences not only happen in one journey, like I onboard, they happen in many, many journeys. I join, I onboard, I grow my skills, and so forth. So we have built out, in this co-creation group with 40 companies, we have built out 20 different journeys times 10 personas, and we have laid out what these journey maps look like for them. So where can you expect, at which touch points can you expect a good and a bad experience, what are great companies doing to resolve these things, and so forth and so forth. So the second bit of co-creation work that we did is we built up persona and journey templates, very rich on data and insights. And in the end, Alice, over all the journeys that she goes through, will have a cumulative employee experience. So they add up. Here comes a bit of a problem. We know from top-down research that the employee experience has a strong correlation with the engagement, which has a strong correlation with enterprise performance. So correlation-wise, what we can prove top-down is employee experience drives engagement, drives performance of the company. And we also see anecdotal data points on the right that support this gearbox here. So for example, if we lose Alice, this costs us a lot of money. The average worker in the average Global 2000 company, the retention, the cost of not retaining a person is $35,000 US. For Alice, it's double that amount, it's 70K. So losing Alice because of bad experiences will cost us money. The other one is also interesting. If a company has a below 3.3 rating on Glassdoor, this will have a massive impact on people attracted to the company. So they will not apply for a job or not accept a job offer. The third one is that profitability and engagement has this correlation of minus 21%. The problem with all these stats is only 13% of companies today are trying to manage the experience of their employees. The vast, vast majority not. And that has a reason. We are not managing employee experience in large organizations because we can't see it. We don't know what it is. We don't measure it, and we are wired in a way that we can't see it. We don't measure it, it's on the bottom left. So we're doing our annual engagement surveys. They talk about the sentiment of people, but not the underlying touchpoint experiences that they had that made them have a good or bad sentiment. We do pulse checks, but usually they are not linked to experience touchpoints. We have cloud-based HRIS systems in place. They have lots of data points in it, but not experience data, and so forth. So we can't see it because we don't measure it. On the right-hand side is this perspective thing. In HR, we are wired to think in and optimize HR silos. The journey, though, that Alice goes through is across silos. So the silo thinking is a big obstacle to managing experiences because experience, as we know, happen in journeys, not in silos. Here is the good news. As I mentioned, marketing, sales, and service have started to manage experience 15 years ago. So why not steal their ideas? That is what we did. Third thing in our co-creation work with these 40 companies was we took the CX Playbook, Customer Experience Playbook from Sales, Marketing, Service. Actually, it's a playbook written by McKinsey. It's in the public domain. You can just download it. It has 200 pages and explains how to manage customer experience. So we took that playbook and translated it for HR with these 40 companies. And there is one pattern of success in it. If you want to manage the experience, you need to have a way to design experiences, to share experiences across the company, to measure it, and then act on the insights that you generate from measurement. That success pattern, design, share, measure, and act, is the success pattern of the customer experience management in the marketing, sales, and service world. We also have a correlation between those that are very, very good at managing the customer experience and their shareholder return. That's important. So obviously, the customer journey, brand awareness, marketing contact, sales and purchase, is very similar to the employee journey. And as that is so similar, it's fair to copy the success pattern from the CX Playbook and make an EX Playbook out of it. So that is what we have co-created with these companies. We have co-created a way of doing co-creation in our companies, of design thinking to design a better experience for employees. We have developed a consistent method of what is a touch point, what is a journey, what's a touch point experience, how do you measure it, and so forth. We have found a way to version it, so you have a central learner journey, and your business in Brazil may have their local version of it, and they still are connected to each other. We have built a tool and a model to measure employee experience, and we have found a way to benchmark it so we can analyze it and act upon the insights. That's the work that we've been doing. So there's a platform out there that has all the content that has been co-created in it. All the journeys, all the templates, all the personas, all the great ideas of how to create a great experience at touchpoint levels, and so forth. You see here, some of the touchpoints are moments of truth, some are pain points. They have an average experience score in it. They break down into various sub-touch points and so forth. So you can organize it. There is a way to doing that. Sharing, we know who, which channel, through which channel, for example, you access which touch points. So if a touch point is broken and the channel is your employee app that sits in your Workday system, that could be a point of action, right? So that's another way of assigning ownership, is not ownership by a channel, but ownership by a team and person. So for each touch point, you can say, this is the responsibility of the Bulgarian recruitment team. If the touchpoint experience breaks, they should fix it. Measuring, we have two ways of measuring experience. One is direct measurement. We send out a one-click survey link through either WhatsApp or chat or email, and a one-click survey will help us collect data on the experience. This is an NPS question, so 0 to 10. At touchpoint level, we also use other data points like customer satisfaction score or customer effort score. And by having defined standard KPIs, we can benchmark the data as well. This is a dashboard, very rich, maybe a bit overwhelming dashboard. We created dashboards for HR leadership teams, for heads of recruitment or heads of L&D. We created dashboards for HR business partners, dashboards for single touchpoint owners, so for our Bulgarian recruitment team, so that they are simple. They can see immediately when a touchpoint is broken, and it's then their responsibility to fix it. So summing up the story, Alice is having experiences, managed or not, employee experience matters, yet it is unmanaged. And it is unmanaged because we can't see it. We learn from customer experience, from the marketing, sales, and service world, that there is this success pattern of design, share, measure, and act. And in this co-creation work that we did over the past 2 years, we've built out a model, a platform, and all the content to doing that in HR. Usually what we do is we help bring this platform and all the content into a company through a small consulting engagement. And then the company itself rolls it out into all the HR processes, into all the HR domains that they're having. And very often they do that as a complement to a Workday SuccessFactors HRIT system rollout. Because a good way of rolling out an HRIT system is not to say, we bring a new system to you, business, but to say, we bring a new experience to the managers and employees in your business. And if you want to do that, then employee experience management is the help.